Hi all. I thought I'd take a quick look at some of the Town Memorial games. I don't mean to do anything comprehensive. In fact, let's just have a look for interesting games and positions. So this was Kramnik's Vidler in round 4. I'm looking at decisive games in particular. And in this game, I did have a brief look just earlier, but this is all mainline Grunfeld here. But what interested me about this game was this H4. It looks, oh my god, was that a misprint? H4. So Kramnik had just played D5 and Knight A6. I thought it was all like classical, play by Kramnik, but he plays like a hacker after with H4 against 2754 opponents. Vidler plays F5, but Black seems to get in trouble. So Bishop takes, now H5. I mean, this rook's activated, this bishop's left at home. This bishop's sort of this knight shut out of b4 because of the pawn on c3. So, maybe White's position is kind of good here. Rook went there. White took on g6. And it seems, Black's king safety was in question. So knight e5. It's very daring stuff, leaving the white king in the centre, leaving the bishop at home on f1. Now queen e3, so queen's going to come in for the attack maybe on h3 or something, knight g6. So he's giving up, well, a2 is immune probably because of bishop c4. And I mean, look at this, what happened now. So we're just leaving the bishop at home. White's gathering an advantage. Finally the bishop moves. Now this g4 move, and look how the white rooks, they coordinate kind of quite well now on the king side soon. So with d6, and the bishop, eyeing that knight, after rook d7, Vidler resigned. I know it's just a very quick overview. Let's have a look at another decisive game. So Kramnik Pomarov, I'm not going to go through it, it's 80 moves. But were there any interesting bits? I thought the opening of this was interesting, where again, Kramnik, he doesn't mind his king, stuck in the centre. So after knight e4, he played queen d5, and he didn't mind this continuation. So king e2. So the king comes to e2 later. So bishop c4, king e2, and again, if it's not really an exploitable problem, the king in the centre. So Kramnik's playing, he played very dynamically in this Town Memorial, and he won after 80 moves from this position. Actually, there's a really interesting bit with the c pawn, I thought. So he leaves his queen and pre because he's got the c pawn. So rook takes, queen takes, b4. Looks pretty dire, doesn't it? But because of the c pawn, he just plays a really casual move like king f3. So bishop takes d3, c8. Queening, so White still had the upper hand, and he went on to win that. So another game. You can download the PGM from ChessBase if you want to have a look. It's 80 move game, 81 move. Ivanchuk Gelfand. A lot of Slav defences in this tournament. So e3, leaving the bishop at home on c1. That's interesting. So Ivanchuk just goes for the light square bishop. And what did I think was interesting about this one? This d5, so he doesn't mind playing d5, so he's giving up c5. And I don't know, just going after the a7 pawn becomes a major thing in this game. So bishop takes a7 seems a bit materialistic, but he gave up the light square bishop to do this. Queen e2, and he's just winning material maybe. So he wins the a7 pawn, and just he gets rid of Black's counterplay a bit, and we see this sort of grind game. So Gelfand is ground down in this rook and pawn ending. The king c3, he had enough. Gelfand resigned. Gelfand Aronian, another Slav. I'm not sure I remember I was that interested in this particular game. Don't really know. It seems a bit, well, there's this bishop h7 to pick up the bishop on d4. I don't know, it seems really kind of chaotic tactical game, this one. Didn't really strike me, anything that I could pick up for my own games. Maybe I haven't looked in great detail at these games, but this was a grind using the better knight versus bishop ending. So black got ground down in this ending if we flick through the moves here. Again, a rook and pawn ending, and white's just 2 pawns up now. So yeah, a bit of a grind, that one. I think one of the best games was this. This excited me because it was an English attack system played by Carlsen to beat Ponarov. And Carlsen apparently, according to Chessbase, innovated with Queen E1. So I think this is kind of neat, because White's idea is kind of neat. With Knight E2 to F4, the knight remains aggressive, and he doesn't mind them being forked, because there's a tactical idea of Knight D5, I think. Oh, sorry, here, maybe there's just... so here it doesn't work either. But in this position it certainly doesn't, because of Knight D5 and then takes and the pawn's pinned against the king. But look at the knights, and now look at E6 pressure. So this E6 bombardment with a nice piece sacrifice on E6. So I kind of liked this game. I think this was one of my favourite games of the tournament. Although Carlsen, he won his last 2 games. Apparently he had a cold, so maybe he's still going to be the new #1, I think, ahead of Topalov soon. So this was a crushing final position. Another sacrifice here, Rook D7, beautiful, ripping out in this diagonal, and now this beautiful Queen D5. So I enjoyed this game more than any other I've seen from the Town Memorial. So much so, let's look at that again. So English attack system with Queen E1, very interesting idea. So the knight's coming to F4, not minding that E5. And this diagonal being sliced open. So I enjoyed that one. Okay. Aronian versus Lecco. Peter Lecco. Or Lecco. So Queen D4. This is all sharp theoretical stuff, which I don't know if I'm ever going to play this myself. So giving up a gambit when you move the bishop over there. And you get like some pressure with Knight E5, and he's giving up D4 though, and doesn't mind the Queen exchange. So I think it's mazes of variations in this line. This is a very, very topical line, which again I don't really know for my own games. Am I going to benefit that much unless I know tons of theory here in this sort of stuff. So it seems to be some sort of grinding game by White. Big advantage there. Flat reside. Anand's Fiddler. So this was interesting because I thought it was Bishop D2. It's an interesting move, seemingly a bit timid, but and now Bishop E3, seemingly wasting time. Doesn't really know what's going on here. Why was this time waste justified? But it seems, Anand had an interesting attack going later with this F pawn. He rammed it up to F5 soon, so F5, and it seems, poor Svidler felt a bit like this move B4 slicing him a bit because of D4 being vulnerable. And it's an interesting tactical idea. Takes this Queen F6 and Queen takes D8. So after Knight F3, Queen takes F3. So White's still in this tactical thing getting, so Queen C5 is Queen F2 now, so White's material up. Queen C3 was Rooks and Pre, Rook D1, Knight D1, so White ends up material up. So yeah, just a very quick look at some of the games there. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.